Hello guys, welcome back to UFT tutorial. I welcome you to the course overview. So what we are going to cover in this UFT overview, we'll talk about what is UFT, what are the features of it, and we'll see the tool itself also. So what is UFT? UFT is a unified functional testing tool, okay, which was earlier known as QTP. Alright, if we go to the website of UFT, simply write UFT here and see here it is written Unified Functional Testing. Okay, it was earlier known as QTP. QTP word is very famous. If you have to say what's UFT, most of the people understand by name of QTP. So what's our basic UFT is that they combine the API testing, which was done by HP service test, and QTP. Okay, so what it is, it's a one-stop solution for testing of all kind of apps. When I say all kind of apps, then we can, what UFT does is, UFT is just a kind of framework. All right, in this framework there are some holes in which if you want to integrate something, you just need to install an add-in of that particular technology. Suppose I want to test a Java technology, then what I can do, I have to just download an add-in of Java. Of course the license fee is also applicable to a particular add-in, but this is how it's works. By default it can test a simple HTML web and window app. So what are the features of UFT? As I said, it can test both window and web based, as it can test both window and web based application. It has the biggest competition from Selenium, which can only test a web application. You cannot test an window app using WebDriver API. Okay, it can also test an API. For that we need a separate licensing. It has also a feature of insight recording. So what this insight recording does, it's just a image based recording in which you can record an application basis of the kind of image that are displayed. Suppose this is a button, so how the button looks like, how it has a width, size, color, depth, everything is there in the insight recording. It's actually records that image and then it will find that image on that particular page. Also, what's other feature is that it supports multiple script debugging. Now in different tabs the different actions and libraries are open, so you can debug the script multiple. Earlier if you open one action, then only that in that action you can do an edit. Now you can debug many actions simultaneously. It has also included PDF checkpoints. I'll show you how to put a PDF checkpoints in the later scenario. Then there is also support for CI integration like Jenkins and Hudson. It has also supported the add-in for mobile testing. If you look into the website like Perfecto and Zfix, what it does, it again gives you an add-in for testing mobile like apps or web. How it works, like you download the add-in, you install it with the UFT, then you can connect your real device into the USB player and simply automate that thing, or you can use their cloud solutions. I've already discussed about the insight recording. It's an image based recording. There is one major support that comes into from QTP 11 onwards is a XPath and CSS support. I think these are very important things because using XPath we can solve many problems and we don't need to add 2 or 3 property. We can easily use XPath to restrict the application using only one kind of property. This was introduced in Selenium, so it's got very popular. Then QTP also added this XPath. So I'll add a separate module for XPath theory in which we'll discuss how to get to certain node, then come back to the parent, how to get the sibling, and how to fetch a value in the table using XPath. We'll discuss everything. So before we move forward, let me just share you market analysis of job QTP versus Selenium. If you see the orange graph, it's of QTP, which is, you can see a declining phase, and the Selenium, which is increasing. So it's a good news for Selenium guys that their jobs are increasing, and if you see the QTP, it's on decline. The major reason for this that most of the apps that people are using are web-based application. You also use mostly web to do anything like check email, like do the manage portfolio, all are there using web-based scenario. So what I'm suggesting here, even the jobs are on the decline, but majority of people that are there in the automation are also shifting from QTP to Selenium. Okay, so now when you go into the market, you will not find enough talented people in the QTP itself. So it again, like I have watched like for last few months, the demand for expert in QTP has risen, and also the salary structure is also. So it's good to know QTP also if you haven't started with. It's also very good to know about the Selenium also. So guys, whatever line you choose is, like if you want to choose performance, if you want to choose automation, always do two kind of tools. One, always do a paid, which is a market leader, and also do an open source. In case if you want to switch to or present some solution to the client as an open source, you also know that kind of tool. Suppose your company was using QTP and you see a sudden increase in the Selenium, then you can provide a solution that you are using in QTP same in Selenium. So this way is how you can survive in like these kind of scenarios, like one job is getting down and other is starting rising. So that's what I want to just share my knowledge. So let's just see the tool itself. So this is how it starts. I'm using 11.5 now. If you go to the website and download, then it will be 12.0. Everything is similar, so not to worry about. This is what a start page looks like. Here you can see the latest projects that you have worked upon. You can simply click here and start the project. This is where it say what's new in the then community, then links, what are the links that are helpful, then support is also available. This is a solution explorer. So suppose I open any project here. So what you will see in Solution Explorer, you can see all the components that are associated with this test. You can see the actions, you can see the library, you can see the external action log associated with this test. Everything will be visible. These are the object repository that are associated with the action. If there will be a library associated, you can also see here. This is what's a test path of an test. So here we can see the test will be start, then driver will be called, then the test will end. If you double click it, it will go into an expert view where all the code is written. We'll see the code in the later lectures, but just be with me in this scenarios. So if you again go into driver, this is the property window. alright, where all the name of an action is written, where the action is stored, is it usable or not. This is where we can see this. In this we can set an input and output parameter. This is an ALM support. The good thing about this thing, we can also connect it with an ALM and save the test directly into the ALM. When I'm talking about ALM, I'm seeing the quality center, and we can also run the test from quality center also. This is the output window. This is where you will do most of the debugging. Alright, you put a breakpoint, you can observe the variables in it, you can see what are the data table values that are displayed here, what are the errors of the application, like when you are developing, say you press Ctrl S, all the errors will be displayed here. These are for warnings, like if you do not include your recovery scenario, then warning will be displayed. These are the messages that will come. Okay, when you run it, then there will be a watch tab. If you go into view and see debug, there is a watch tab in which you can see the state of an variable during runtime. There is a local variable where all the variables will be displayed. There is a console where you can pass the statement during runtime. That is what is majorly used for. I want to execute one more thing or set a value into variable, I can give it in the console itself. Alright, that is explicitly added in just to like filter these outputs. Okay, you can also save this as a text file or share it with another teammate. That is the basic overview. These are the record options. These are the run, maintenance and update mode. I'll tell you about all this kind of recording modes in the later lecture. This is an object spy, which is used to inspect the element of a web page or window app. This is where is an object repository where all my test objects will be stored. It also has an object spy. If I click on it then and move this over anything, it will start recording what kind of object it is. There is also help file. I will talk into next lecture that how you can use this help file. Alright, so guys, this is it. We talk about what is UFT, told you about what UFT is actually is. It's a API plus QTP. What are the features that they have added, like API testing, window and web-based insight recording, multiple script debugging, PDF checkpoints. We'll add all these things in the later lecture. Just it's like a theory itself. You should know that what are the features that are there in UFT and what is the major competitor it has in the market, that is Selenium. So